What is up, guys? It's Dan the Man, and today I'm back with round 3 of the Spring Chess Club Championship held here at UF. And going into this game, I have a score of 1 out of 2, and I'm looking more optimistic about how this tournament will go because I had a really knockout win in round 2 against the 1600, all because she blocked the wrong way and then her position fell apart. So I was feeling a bit more optimistic about how the tournament will play out, and I thought, oh, okay, since I got a lower rated person the first game and lost, and then maybe that will configure the algorithm to give me lower rated players the remaining 4 games, and maybe I can, finish in second place or something with 4 out of 5. So I was feeling a bit more positive about how I do in the tournament. And going to this game, I was paired against an 1800 by the name of Talha Ostoy, who's a student here. I don't really think I've seen him in club meetings too much, but I know him by name. So let's go ahead and jump straight into the game here. But just a note, this game had a ton of only moves, and it's just this game is full of optical illusions, positions that seem like they're totally winning for one player, but it turns out that it's just even. And you're going to see what I mean in just a few minutes. So anyway, as you guys see, he started the game off with e4. I play e5, knight f3, knight c6, and here he goes into the Ruy Lopez, and I play the Berlin, sorry. And here he told me after the game, which is funny, that he wanted to go for the drawn version, which is castles, takes, and then playing the move d4, after which I would retreat. He would take this, I take back, knight f5, takes. This is what he wanted to do. But he forgot the move order. He inverted the move order, and instead of playing d4 now, he took the knight, which I got surprised of. I did not know he was intending to go into that line. I just thought that this was some sort of weird sideline that I haven't seen before, and no one's ever played this against me. I don't even think online. So I paused because usually you take the knight later, or you take the knight now, before now. So I kind of paused here about, I'm like, what is he doing? So after I take back, he plays d4. So all he did was he just switched the move order between d4 and bishop c6. And, I have to be a bit careful. I can't take on d4, probably, because I would be opening the e-file, and bad things would happen to the knight on e4. So here, I just play bishop e7. Very safe move, just blocking the e-file, preparing to castle, and I'm perfectly fine giving the pawn back to white. Now, instead of knight takes e5 or d takes e5, here he played the move queen e2, which is also a very logical move. He's attacking the knight, and once it moves, he'll have another option to take back. He might take with the queen, who knows. And I was thinking about where to move my knight. I was worried that if I go knight f6 here, he just takes, I have to move, and then he hits me with this c4 move, and he's just causing my knight to waste a lot of tempi, and he's just going to have a lot more space than me, and he's just going to chase my knight all around the board. So I did not want to go into this line. So I played the move knight d6 here. That way, after takes, I would play knight f5, and I don't really think white wants to go g4, just for the sake of attacking my knight, because he's going to be opening some weaknesses around his king. So I did not think that was a worthwhile attacking move. But in this position, he played the move rook d1. And rook d1 is a great move, because look at my queen. It's pretty much trapped. The only move to not lose a piece or the queen is to block with bishop d7. And here he played an ingenious move that just totally caught me off guard. He played the move e6 here. And e6 is a brilliant move because it's a pawn clearance sacrifice. It's very forcing because I have to take the pawn, otherwise I lose my bishop. So after I take, he goes knight e5. And who's defending that bishop on d7? See, there are 2 pieces attacking the bishop, and I can't defend it a second time. So I have to put something on d6. The question is, which piece do I put? And I was trying to figure that out for a few minutes. And since this is only a 25-minute game, I was kind of burning a lot of time here. If I played the move knight d6, then I'm just totally cooked, because after queen h5, g6, knight g6, it's just over. White is just threatening too many things on your king, the rook's hanging, it's just bad news. So, you might be wondering how bishop d6 is any better. And I'm very lucky to have this resource, because after queen h5 check, it looks like I'm just totally lost, because if I move my king, queen f7 is straight up checkmate, and I would lose in 12 moves. So I'm forced to play g6. But you might be wondering, Dan, can he play knight takes g6 here? And I would say, yes, he can. So how are you not losing? And I would say, I don't know. This is just a stroke of luck for some reason. I play the move knight g7, hitting the queen. And he can't take the rook because the queen, which would be checking my king, can be taken. But he also has to stay in the h-file to try to maintain the pin on the pawn. So here he plays the move queen h6, very logical move. And again, I only have one move to not be losing. A lot of clutch moves here for me. I play knight f5, attacking the queen again. And I was thinking maybe he'd go back here. I'd go knight g7, and then we just do a repetition of position, and we would agree to a draw here. So, yeah. I thought maybe we would go into this line. But here he plays queen h3, moving the queen somewhere else and keeping the game going. So here, I can't attack the queen anymore. I have to save my rook. So I do that with rook g8. And after queen takes h7, it's a sheer miracle that I'm not losing, because he's basically obliterated my whole king side. I have no pawns around it. He's up a pawn. The bishop might sneak into the game very soon, and it's just a miracle. Like, how is black not lost here? Again, the only move, which is not that hard to find actually, is rook g7. Just saving the rook, attacking the queen, and asking the queen what it's going to do. So here, he played the move queen h5, winding on my king yet again. And it might look scary that there are a million discovered checks that white can play here. The knight has a lot of squares to move to. So my first instinct was to block the diagonal, because we were scared of discoveries. But then white can have fun with bishop g5, and I'm just in a real... He's cutting off this square, and then queen h8 is going to be basically mate soon, so... But then I stopped to think, okay, white does have a million discovered checks. The question is, are they that scary? And the answer is no. Because once the knight moves, I can always play king to e7 or something, and be totally safe. So here I play the move queen f6, the only move to not be losing again. And this is crazy that my king is just susceptible to so many checks, yet none of them are really posing any sort of serious threat. So here he plays the move knight h4 check. And here I can go king e7, which I didn't play, which I actually should have played. But I played queen f7. I was trying to trade queens because I thought my king was still having a chance to be mated. So I just let's just get the queens off, and I'll play this endgame down to pawn. So here he plays the brilliant move knight takes f5, and I can't take the queen on h5 because this would be a fork on the king and the queen, and he would be collecting a rook on the way out. So I have to take the knight with the pawn because the queen is pinned by his queen. So I play e takes f5. He plays rook e1 check, trying to continue the attack in some sort of fashion. I go king f8, and actually my king's pretty safe here because he has to deal with his threat on the queen, and then I can start offering trades. So here he plays queen h8 check. A lot of only moves here, and this is another example. If I play rook g8, bishop h6 leads to basically mate, or losing a ton of material, so I play the move queen g8. Here he plays queen h6, that way I can't take on g2 because the rook is pinned. So here I play rook e8, just offering a trade, and if he takes me, I would get my king to a safer square. So he played queen f6 check here. Again, my only move is to block with the queen, because bishop h6 would be deadly. And now he just trades a bunch of material. And we go into this endgame, where he is up a pawn, but his entire back row is undeveloped. Notice all the pieces of his are on the starting squares. But he is up a pawn, so he does have that. So he plays the move knight d2, looking to go to f3. And at this point, he had about 2 minutes, and I had 7. So even though he's up a pawn, he has to play quickly with only 2 minutes left and play accurately. So here I play bishop e6, looking to reposition the bishop to d5, where I can attack this pawn twice. So here he played the move knight f3, the whole point of playing knight d2. And here I play bishop d5. Now the knight is threatened because the pawn is pinned. So here he plays the move knight g5 check. I go king f6, double attacking the knight. And it wouldn't be smart for him to move the knight because I would take on g2, so he has to defend the knight. And he chooses to do that with h4. Here I play the move bishop e5, which apparently isn't a great move. I was trying to stop white from developing their bishop because I would be putting pressure on the b pawn. So here he played the move c3, blocking the attack, and now he's threatening to move the bishop out because there would be no threat. So here I play f4, sort of restricting the bishop's ability to move. He only has d2, and that's what he plays. He plays bishop d2. I go with king f5. It's totally drawn, but again, he only has like 1 minute on the clock here, and I have about 6. So I'm trying to flag him by playing moderately quickly to give him less time to think. He plays rook e1 here, totally logical move. I go with bishop to f6, threatening to win the pawn back, and he has to give the pawn back because he cannot afford for me to take on g2. So he does that with f3. I get my pawn back. Apparently, rook takes g5 is not good. Let's see. Why the heck? Oh, yeah, g4. g4 check is best for white because en passant, I would lose my rook, and white just gets a protected passed pawn, and this is just bad for me. And yeah, also my king has to move, and I would lose this pawn on f4. So that's what he should have done. And he plays the move king f2 here. He was scared about bishop takes f3 because the pawn was pinned. And here I play rook g7. He has about 30 seconds here. He plays rook e8. I go pawn grabbing with bishop takes a2. He plays rook f8 check. I block with the rook and f7. And here we entered this opposite colored bishop endgame. And if he had about a few more minutes, he could easily draw this. But he, again, has not that much time left, and he's trying to not flag here. Well, meanwhile, I have about maybe 2 or 3 minutes here, much more time than him. And this is drawn because bishops on opposite colors are almost always drawn, and there really isn't any sort of imbalance here. All the pawns are symmetrical. All of them are concentrated on the same side. I do have 4 pawns on the queen side versus his 2, so that could pose some sort of advantage in the future. You'll have to see. So he plays g4 check now. I en passant, of course, because it's forced. And I play c5. Looking to advance my pawns, play b5, a5, and then just advance up the board. He plays bishop to f4 here, attacking the pawn. I save it with c6. He plays bishop to b8. I play a5, just continuing to advance. He plays bishop c7, a4, king f2. And it might look scary that I'm advancing my pawns, but white is totally fine. He plays bishop d6. I go b4, I actually give the pawn up. Because if I go c4, there's no way in hell I'm winning this. Because the bishop is just controlling all these dark squares forever. And this is just going to be a dead draw. I'm trying to create some sort of winning chance here. So I play b4. And with b4, if he takes this, then I'm winning after a3. I just create a pawn breakthrough. If he takes, I go b3, and white can't stop the pawn. So he can't do that. So he has to play c takes b4. And I don't take back because what would be the point of that? The bishop would take. I play c4, and I'm trying to overwhelm this pawn on b2 with 2 on 1. And white has to be a bit careful here. Like, white has to play the move b5, apparently, giving the pawn back. But again, going to this concept, white is just going to control these dark squares forever, and I'm not going to be able to make any progress. That's why opposite-colored bishop endgames are so drawn, is because the bishops are opposite polarity. You can't control what the other person controls. So he had to give the pawn up here, but under low time, he plays king e3, and now he's just totally lost. And there's only one winning move here, which I find. I'm pretty happy of this move. This is just a pawn breakthrough. I played the move c3, giving the pawn up, and if he takes, I would just push my A pawn up the board. And if he plays, let's say, king d3, which is what happened in the game, I would take. And even though it looks like my pawns are being stopped, I can play king e6. I first play king e6 to attack the bishop. After bishop c5, I play a3. And it still might look like my pawns aren't getting anywhere because the king can just sit on b1 or something. But it's an illusion because after the move b5, he's trying to throw in one last Hail Mary to try to take this pawn and make a draw. But you guys can see the move here. Bishop to g6, and in this position, Talha resigned the game because I'm checking the king, and next move I'm going to promote. And that's all there was. That's all she wrote. So I managed to escape a crazy opening where it seemed like I was totally cooked, but I wasn't. Went into a worse endgame. Now transitioned into a draw, and under low time, I managed to sneak a pawn through and win the game by resignation. So this was a crazy game here. If we take a look at the accuracy, he played at 83.6. He had a brilliant move with knight takes f5, which was quote-unquote sacking the queen. And I played at 88.8. I thought I would play worse because I didn't know my position was actually okay. I thought I just totally chucked. And yeah, this was just a crazy game here, but we ended up winning the game, and we have a score of 2 out of 3. I was feeling really optimistic here. And yeah, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment if you like, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the last 2 games here. Have a great rest of your day or night.